Hi everyone, today we're talking about the skin vector, the very first system vector, and the one where human consciousness actually began. In this video we will cover where it came from, what skin people look like, how they behave when they live in their purpose, and what goes wrong when they are not. So let's dive in. About 50,000 years ago, when food was running out, a mutation happened in some of our ancestors, both inside and outside at the same time. What happened inside, the zone of the brain responsible for processing skin, grew slightly larger, and outside, as a direct result, their body hair fell off from this to this. But here's the twist, that the same brain zone doesn't just process skin, it's also a seat of logic, the ability to combine things. For example, stone plus stick equals axe, or problem plus thinking equals solution. Two things happened at once. The fur disappeared, and something that looked like reasoning switched on. So what is happening next? There is a naked person in the tribe and he has no fur. So he starts getting cold faster, and when you get cold, you want to eat more. Same thing with our naked guy. He is hungry faster than everyone else. So this person starts thinking, not just I'm hungry right now, that's usually what animals do, but what if I'm hungry tomorrow or next week? And this was the birth of concept no other animal had ever had before, and it's called the future. So the first human being who understood that time flows and resources can run out was the skin type. In the tribe, they became the hunters, the ones who tracked the food supply, guarded the reserves, and made sure there was enough for tomorrow. And this became the engine of human civilization. Let's look at skin. It separates inside from outside. It maintains the same temperature no matter what's happening outside. And it says no in. We can say now that skin equals boundary and skin equals form. And that's exactly what skin people do. They give form to everything around them. Now let's talk about rules and limits. Skin type people are the original lawmakers. They built contracts, hierarchies, social rules, and because the tribe needed someone to say, this is yours and this is mine. No crossing that line. Invention. Imagine a group of hunters needs to cross a river. The only way to other sides go around it. It's 2 days of walking. Because now we have our skin guy, he doesn't want to waste time. So he grabs an axe, chops down a tree, and makes a bridge. So in other words, he saves time and resources. Efficiency. Everything they do is about saving two things, time and energy. If you ever seen a worn path cut through the corner of a park, a skin type made that. They always find this shortcut. They can't help it. You can see in this picture, they saved 10 seconds here, maybe 15. Before we look at the portrait, one important thing. Every vector has two sides, the plus and the minus. The plus is when a person lives in alignment with their nature. We call it realized. The minus is when the vector is frustrated. If programs run on autopilot and everything flips. it all runs unconsciously. Now let's talk about the look. They have a slim, toned, wiry body. They like ponytails, especially women. They prefer practical, minimal style. Steve Jobs is a great example. He wore the same black turtleneck, jeans and sneakers every day. Not because he couldn't afford variety, but because he refused to waste a single decision on it. Their speech is usually fast, they have thin lips, no energy wasted on extra words. They got to the point. If it takes you too long to explain, they're already somewhere else in their head. Let's have a look at the frustrated state of the vector. When the skin type is frustrated, they compensate it by showing off. For example, someone buys designer clothes on credit while struggling to pay the rent, or spend their last money on the newest iPhone, or wears a fake Rolex watch. All of this is a signal they need proof, even a fake one, that they belong somewhere higher. The skin type lives by hierarchy. When they walk into a room, they already know who ranks where. They are drawn to sports, rankings, and any competition. Because for them there is always a winner and a loser, and they intend to be the first. As I mentioned earlier, the skin vector can be realized and frustrated, and these are two completely different people. The realized skin type is the best self-organizer of all 8 vectors. They wake up before the alarm, they exercise, they manage time better than anyone around them. Disciplined, reliable, punctual. Henry Ford, for example, invented the assembly line. Before him, every car was built by hand and it was slow and expensive. Ford changed the question. Instead of how do we build this car, he asked how do we save every minute of every worker's time. The car moves along the line, each person does just one thing, and suddenly it's faster, it's cheaper, and for the first time in history, it's the car that everyone could afford. Now let's talk about the frustrated skin type. Mostly it starts from childhood. The mistake that parents make is comparing them to other kids, criticizing them and their grades, which is really damaging the skin type children to the core. To a skin type child, this isn't just words. Hierarchy is a survival. In the ancient program, being pushed to the bottom means no food, no future. This child is carrying an enormous amount of stress, and the brain remembers it. Stress and failure starts to feel normal, expected, even comfortable, because at least it's familiar. So as an adult, they start to self-sabotage. For example, right before the biggest opportunity of their life, the night before an important meeting, they could get drunk or oversleep. Not on purpose, and not because they forgot, it's done unconsciously, because failure feels familiar. Another example, we call it saving small, losing big. Imagine you want to order something online. Delivery is $2, but the store is 20 minutes away. So instead of clicking pay and staying home, you spend an hour on the road to save that $2. And it feels completely irrational in the moment. A skin type does this constantly. The ancient program says, save resources. It's a 50,000-year-old program running in the world it wasn't built for. Another example. Imagine house is on fire and mother runs out. Instead of holding her child, she's holding her money or her phone. It's the ancient program again. In primitive tribe, the skin type had one job in a crisis: protect the food supply and the resources. Taking care of the children, that was the Brown's vector role. We will talk about it in the next video. Skin types build relationships practically. Friendship lasts as long as there is mutual benefit. When usefulness ends, they simply fade out. No drama, no fight, they just stop showing up. Here is something interesting about how they manipulate. They offer help you didn't ask for, and then weeks later they will mention it, casually, like they just remembered. Or they will say something brutally honest right to your face. Not because they're cruel, just efficiency. Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory, textbook skin type. Every seat assigned, every agreement is documented, every violation noted. He's not trying to be difficult. His system is just running exactly the way it was built. Skin types follow 4 basic rules. 1. Be on time, because time is money. 2. Return what you borrow, because that's their thing, they track everything. 3. Be direct, because again, time is money. 4. Don't touch their things. Objects are an extension of their body. Every vector in this system has a color and a shape. The skin vector's color is orange, which means energy and movement. It's warm but controlled, like the skin itself. It regulates heat, keeps the inside stable, no matter what is happening outside. And the symbol is cross, or a plus sign. Think about what a cross actually is. 2 lines that meet and create the boundary. Vertical, who is above and who is below, which means hierarchy. Horizontal, what is mine, what is yours, which means boundaries. And the plus sign also means calculation, accumulation. Let's summarize. The skin vector, born from cold and hunger, built to invent, to save, to organize, to lead. The first step to understand that tomorrow exists and that it needs to be prepared for. When realized, these people are disciplined, the best self-organizers, natural in sport, business, military, law. They build systems. When frustrated, they are greedy. You can call them the professional unhappy person. They are staying in job they hate, relationships that hurt. They are con artists, scammers. Typical skin vector are Tony Stark, Oscar Schindler, Harvey Specter. Here is the thing about vectors. When it's realized, it leaves its purpose. When it's frustrated, it turns against itself. It is suffering for the person and everyone around them. Now I just wanted to ask, did you recognize someone from your circle? Maybe a parent, a colleague, a partner? If you did, we can discuss it in the comments. In the next video we will talk about the brown vector. Please subscribe so you don't miss it, and see you there.